In today's video, we're going to explore the concepts of global warming and climate change, examining the important distinctions between the two, what causes them, and what kinds of consequences they might have on our planet and life as we know it. Surrounding the entire Earth is a layer of gases known as the atmosphere, which serves as a protective and insulating barrier. This layer acts like a giant blanket or greenhouse that carefully regulates the amount of the sun's heat energy that stays trapped around the planet, ensuring the Earth maintains a fairly stable and livable temperature throughout the day and night. When the sun sends out its energy in the form of short wavelength radiation, most of it passes through the atmosphere without any trouble and reaches the Earth's surface. A portion of this energy is absorbed by the land and sea, warming the surface, but a large amount is reflected or re-emitted back toward the sky in the form of longer wavelength infrared radiation. While some of this re-emitted energy does manage to escape into outer space, a considerable amount is intercepted by certain gas particles within the atmosphere, which absorb the energy and then, after a brief delay, release it in various random directions. This released energy can again be absorbed and re-emitted by other gas molecules, creating a cycle that effectively traps heat close to the planet for extended periods. The outcome of this process is a steady warming effect, which is why the Earth remains much warmer than it would be if there were no atmosphere at all. The gases responsible for this warming include carbon dioxide, methane, and water vapor, among others, and collectively they are referred to as greenhouse gases, while the warming process itself is known as the greenhouse effect. The trouble begins when human activities increase the concentration of these greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, causing the greenhouse effect to intensify, which results in global warming. For carbon dioxide in particular, its rising levels are mainly due to two human actions. Firstly, we burn an enormous quantity of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas to power vehicles, generate electricity, and run factories, which releases carbon that has been stored underground for millions of years into the air as carbon dioxide. Secondly, we cut down vast areas of forests in a process known as deforestation, reducing the number of trees that can absorb carbon dioxide through photosynthesis, a natural process that removes this gas from the atmosphere. Methane levels are also rising, primarily because farm animals such as cows and sheep produce methane during digestion and release it into the air. Additionally, the decomposition of massive quantities of waste in landfills and other areas by microorganisms releases significant amounts of methane. Although we have direct evidence from temperature records going back hundreds of years confirming that the Earth is indeed getting warmer, the long-term consequences of this warming trend are much more difficult to predict with certainty. This is because the Earth's climate system is incredibly complex and involves countless interrelated variables, which makes it challenging for scientists to develop accurate predictive models. Nonetheless, what we do know is that the impacts of global warming will be serious and wide-ranging, and we use the term climate change to describe these broader effects on the planet's weather patterns and ecosystems. While global warming specifically refers to the rise in average global temperatures, climate change encompasses all the associated changes in long-term weather conditions, including shifts in precipitation, storm intensity, and regional climates. For instance, extreme weather events such as droughts, floods, hurricanes, and heat waves are expected to become more frequent and more intense due to global warming, and these events are considered part of climate change. Another consequence is the rising sea levels, which result from two separate factors. The first is that higher global temperatures are causing glaciers and polar ice caps to melt more rapidly, adding more water to the oceans. The second is that as water heats up, it expands, and this thermal expansion further increases sea levels. Together, these effects may lead to seasonal flooding, permanent loss of land in coastal regions, and even the disappearance of low-lying islands and entire towns. Beyond this, the changing climate will also put enormous stress on plant and animal species across the globe. As temperature and rainfall patterns shift, many species that are adapted to specific environmental conditions may struggle to survive. Some might manage to adapt or relocate to new areas with more favorable climates, but many others will not be able to change or migrate quickly enough. As a result, we are likely to see a steep decline in global biodiversity, with many species potentially facing extinction in the coming decades. These changes not only impact ecosystems, but also pose significant threats to agriculture, water supplies, and human health. In conclusion, the enhanced greenhouse effect caused by human activities is leading to global warming, which in turn is driving climate change and resulting in severe environmental, ecological, and societal consequences. That is all for today's discussion, and if you found this video useful, we would appreciate your support. So please like and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.